Hey everyone, I'm Stan Stolniker back at the Hub Culture Climate Campus. As COP begins to find its way and move towards whatever outcomes come, the Hub Culture Climate Campus is also finding its outcomes. Joining me now for a conversation on some of our commitments and ways to move forward following the Climate Campus are some of our friends who helped to make this possible. Wes Geisenberger from Hedera, Alejandra from Sustainable Ocean Alliance, and then Mariana, who's on our team and has been helping us. So thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about commitments in this little conversation and share many of the things that have come. Let's start with Wes. How has this been for Hedera, and what do you see coming out of this for your work?
Um, First off, I just want to say thank you to Stan, LCO, the team. This has been a lot of work to put this on. For those who don't know, Hedera has been coming to COP since COP27 back in Egypt. We've been to Dubai, Baku, and now here in Belém. And each time we've come with Hub Culture to try to bring the conversation between groups, whether they're in Web3, digital innovation, now there's a lot of AI interest, together with the institutional stakeholders, whether they're financiers, nonprofits in the carbon market, or whether they're enterprises. And the big theme coming out of Baku was how do we get to 1.3 trillion? How do we get the commitments, and then how do we make that possible? And so when we think about it from a Hedera perspective is, well, what can we do in sustainable finance using public ledgers to better trace the flow of funds to the communities that need it most, that are enabling climate action on the ground? And when we host events like we had here, the Regenerative Finance Forum, what we're really looking to do is make sure that regenerative finance is getting to the folks who are making the change we need in the world. And when you think about public ledgers or blockchains, we think about incentive mechanisms, design, all these different concepts. And oftentimes we hear the word tokenization, but the bottom line is money needs to get to the communities. Those communities are generally running projects that follow methodologies. We oftentimes talk to folks here at COP about leveraging the world's largest methodology library that's digitized and open source. That's something we're really proud of. But this year, what we've spent the most time on is talking about, well, how can we take these same projects and track the flow of finance to the communities that need it? How do we prove that funds, whether they're more in the thought process of the just transition, proving that these funds are going to the global south communities, or whether we're thinking, well, how do we follow it from capital market instruments and commitments to the projects, just for proof that these projects are happening, these outcomes are correlating to metric tons, but it could also be other types of investments, whether it's adaptation, biodiversity units, things of that nature. And what we've been so excited about from a Hedera ecosystem perspective is we've seen the uptick of interest from those institutions, whether they're DFIs, banks that we are working with on things like green bonds. In this COP, one of the big announcements that we've had is related to leveraging these tools, and we've put out new open source systems. So we've been connecting our lighthouse kind of open source technology called the Hedera Guardian to our green bond technology we called Asset Tokenization Studio through a tool called our Treasury module. So it's now taking together 3 digital public goods, connecting them together as kind of the plumbing that's needed for a project, a bank, and the entire environmental workflow, an auditor, a standard to get to a unit of issuance. And most of the time here at COP, what we're also hearing is that issuance is not going to just be done by an independent crediting standard like a gold standard or Vera, but it's going to be done in conjunction with a country under Article 6.2 and an international transfer of a mitigation outcome, or an ITMO. And we've been funding infrastructure there too, through digital public goods like the UNDP National Carbon Registry System, which we've also supported integrating to Hedera. And that project was started by UNDP, but we've actually helped a lot bringing together the maintainers of that so that they can make this a system that accesses the methodology library and ultimately accesses the financial tools that we've been funding that are all open source, tied to the open source methodologies, tied to the communities working. And so that's one of the big commitments, is how do we make this go faster? How do we bring these systems together? We've been making investments in AI around the Guardian and digitalizing methodologies, investments in companies that are helping move the ball forward. And what I'd like to just say in wrapping up is this COP isn't about one single announcement. We've had awesome conversations with Uganda where they're very proud of a really cool project called Pearl Carbon, but Ugandan government works with the communities, not just by themselves. They work with companies like Evercity, who are reliant on Hedera, for example, to submit data. They may be reliant on an auditor like Earthhood. This isn't just one party. This can't be just one announcement. And a commitment to finance cannot just be a number. We're all going to have to take these conversations out of this hub into the next, for next COP, work together to get to some of the outcomes that'll make that change we believe in.
Amazing. Those are big commitments and really necessary for driving. Thank you. Really necessary for driving forward climate action at large, and not just here in Brazil, but all around the world. So thank you. And I want to say thank you to Hedera. This hub could not have happened without you guys. You guys were our ride or die, and you trusted us to bring this together. And I think so many people have benefited from the work that we've done together. You guys had time here, but you also created the platform that gave so many other voices time here. So I think on behalf of everyone, let's just say a big thank you to Hedera for all of that. Okay, thank you, Wes. We're going to get into some more of these commitments here. Mariana, can we have an introduction? And we'll have it translated both ways.
Yes, okay. You can start introduction.
That's good.
Hello. Hello,
Bem perto.
everyone. My name is Amanda Suita, and I'm from Sustainable Ocean Alliance for Hub SOA Brazil. And SOA empowers young leaders, invests in accelerates oceans innovations, and drives global actions to restore ocean health, build a sustainable blue economy, and protect our planet's future. We are the world's largest network of youth leaders, ecopreneurs, and ocean alliance. We are in sorry.
You're doing great.
115 countries.
For countries impacting 2,000 of younger ocean leaders. Sorry for my English is not so good.
We are in Brazil. We should
But-
falar português.
Yeah. And we have Mariana for help me. So I will speak Portuguese now. And eu faço parte da SOA Brasil e estamos muito felizes de estar aqui hoje para lançar aí a possível hub da SOA em Belém.
So she is part of SOA Brazil, and she's very happy to be here to maybe launch this partnership with SOA Belém here.
Hoje, aqui no Brasil, nós temos a SOA no estado de São Paulo, em Salvador, e a SOA Brasil temos representantes de vários estados.
Today, we have SOA in São Paulo and in Salvador, Bahia. And Brazil has multiple states that represent SOA here.
A maioria dos nossos trabalhos envolvem advocacy, educação ambiental, cultura oceânica, educação climática, combate ao lixo no mar e proteção das nossas costas e oceano.
The work of SOA here in Brazil brings advocacy, brings education. They talk about cleaning the rivers and the oceans. They fight against trash.
E eu sou a SOA, ela é voltada para a juventude, né? Eu hoje represento, sou uma conselheira, uma advisor, e eu gostaria de chamar aqui no palco nossa jovem líder que acabou de chegar, a Sônia.
So she's saying that SOA is made for the youth, for the young people. Nowadays, she's an advisor, and she wants to call here on the stage one of the young people of SOA.
Seja bem-vinda, Sônia. E agora eu vou deixar a Sônia, então, falar um pouquinho, né, sobre o nosso trabalho.
And now we're gonna let Sonia talk about the SOA work here.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm sorry for being a bit late. I got track of the traffic, but it's gonna be an honor to launch SOA Belém. Here we have an amazing group of young leaders that are already leading incredible jobs, incredible work on ocean sustainability. And with SOA Belém working alongside SOA Brazil and the other hubs, we're going to have the opportunity to make this work even more bigger and show the world the importance of giving the youth the floor and making them part of the decision-making process, especially alongside hub culture and everyone that's supporting us right now. It's going to be an incredible opportunity, and I'm sure we are gonna make some incredible work.
Great. Okay, well, I guess now, so this is a big moment because we're announcing then the launch of SOA Belém, which will be the third hub alongside SOA Brazil, kind of the national. So this is very exciting. We've asked Mariana and Elcio, who are on our team, to help anchor the lead for this. And what I'd like to do now is explain a little bit about the overall structure that we're planning to go forward out of COP with our commitments. So many of you know that this location is the rowing club of Belém. It's the Náutica Club do Remo, and it was founded in 1905. It's the oldest rowing club in Brazil, and they have been very, wonderful doing the work in a very kind of quiet way. They do 4 or 5 river and ocean cleanups a year. Actually, more river because they're on the river. And they also have youth education programs training young people from around Belém and also around the other communities in sports and sports education. So I now have a number of announcements that we're going to make about how we're thinking of tying all of this together. So Hub Culture, through the Ocean Climate Fund, is committing to fund SOA Belém over the next 3 years with a total of 50,000 reais to help get the organization running and to make investments in category 2 of the Ocean Climate Fund's commitments, which is on blue natural carbon. So we're going to be working with SOA Belém to invest into local community projects bordering the Amazon and the ocean that are focused on returning blue living carbon. So this could be mangrove planting, it could be blue carbon initiatives for seagrass, it could be restoration, and then we're going to link that back with our work through the Ocean Climate Fund and Hub Culture back to Hedera and the Guardian with Alcott and everything else. So this is like really a circular group here where all of the data and intelligence that Hedera brings is going to flow through Hub Culture and SOA Belém to make these projects investable and to drive more money into Amazon protection and ocean protection in the Amazon. So this is a group effort. So we're excited to be able to do that. That 50,000 reais over 3 years is more than SOA gets in a lot of different areas. And I want to encourage you guys to consider thinking about how to fund SOA so they can get to bigger budgets and we can even roll out this initiative into other areas, the other hubs for SOA in Salvador and elsewhere. So that's number one. Number two is that Hub Culture is committing an initiative to fund and sponsor the Club do Remo for the next 3 years up until the end of 2028 and the Los Angeles Olympics. And the plan is to build scholarships for women to come and train and learn how to row at the club to help impact human trafficking and sexual exploitation in the areas surrounding Belém and giving women a pathway to sports entrepreneurship here and also to support the men who row at this club. Currently, the club is ranked number 9 nationally. They compete 4 times a year in regional and 4 times a year in national competition. And our dream is to send someone from the Amazon to the Olympics in 2028. And maybe we should expand that to surfing with our friends at TPM. So this partnership with the club will enable the club to fund education programs for youth and to make further improvements on the building. In return, we're asking the club to enable SOA Belém and other environmental nonprofits to use this space over the next 3 years, along with our friends at Casa Dorada, to be able to actively work on climate action for the Amazon. So with that, we're announcing the formation of Hub Amazonia, which will be the name going forward for the next 3 years for work out of this place and around this square on Amazon. So that's Amazon into the forest and it's Amazon into the sea. And Belém is the perfect gateway for both places. So we'll be funding Club Remo for the next 3 years. That's not all their budget. They need a lot more money. So we're also committing to help fundraise for the club to begin building programs for mangrove restoration, river education, anything we can do. And there's so many people who've been here this week who can help with this. We're already talking to organizations about donating equipment, computers and other stuff through repurposing programs. There's so much that can actually be done to use this as an anchor point for all of that. And then the third commitment that I'd like to announce today is somewhat related, and we think it will become more related. We're happy to announce a partnership with the Reef Line in Miami, who we partnered with for Climate Week in New York to showcase their work on building a new artificial reef in Miami for coral development, research, and restoration. I'm happy to announce today that we are signed for our first investment on our third category with Blue Carbon Infrastructure to build a project called the Reef Tile, which is a new tile made from marine carbon or marine concrete that's low carbon concrete that can attach to seawalls. And the idea is that this tile will be designed over the next couple of months and will be showcased at the Hub in Davos in January as part of our ICON regenerative construction system. This new reef tile is enabling the attachment of coral to the tile, and it can attach to seawalls. And the goal is to make every seawall a living reef. And so we're going to be funding the development of that. And what's exciting is this gives an economic opportunity for many of the NGOs that we've met, working with SOA, working with maybe with other groups here. They'll begin to have a product that can help the ocean, but also provide income back. In the case of the tile, 70% of the income will go back towards the reef line and supporting coral restoration, and 30% will benefit the fund and therefore the investors in the fund. So it's a perfect example of innovation, building new things, making money, helping the ocean, and then also helping nonprofits. We're really excited about this partnership, and we'll be talking more about it at Art Basel in Miami next week. The final thing I'd like to announce is, again, related to Hedera, and it's the first category of the Ocean Climate Fund, which is ocean data and open ocean data. So we haven't announced an initiative for open ocean data resources. And as many of you know, oceanclimatefund.com/data has 25 of the world's top open APIs for ocean data. We're happy to announce an investment today with a company called Zircon in Uruguay, where we're funding another basically 50,000 reais for open ocean data development. And that will then link into the Hedera Guardian. So this will become our next initiative for Guardian integration to build ocean data onto Guardian and to build ways for sensor data and other ocean data to flow into the Guardian system. So those are our three big announcements, and we're really excited about funding SOA Belém, and I hope that Hedera will consider helping with that in the long term, because together, working together, we can really do so much. Our friends Ella from the Yawanawa and the other groups who've been here this week, we want to find ways to get more money to Indigenous guardians. And I think that that should be a major focus for our work going forward. So I want to thank you.
So In the name of SOA Brazil and in representing youth here, I would like to thank you so much for all of those financial support and for believing in us because this makes all the difference. We are working towards a sustainable future and having your support and for all of you being here and being able to help us to raise awareness about the importance of the ocean and youth inclusion is essential. I'm sure that through your help, you're gonna make a better future for the next generation and a more sustainable ocean. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much.